Another day, another misleading headline for AMC stock. Take a listen to this one. AMC stock falls 15% on scary 2024 revenue forecast. Yeah, they worded that one a little interesting. We'll discuss actually what AMC Networks just said that could be bad news for AMC stock, but also maybe priced into the stock. We'll discuss this here in this video, as well as go over everything that you need to know with AMC stock directly. Hit that like button as well as subscribe to the channel. Let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Is AMC stock going higher from here or not? Let me know down below. AMC stock on Friday was up 7% and flat in after hours. This is actually pretty dang impressive. If you want to look at this on a technical basis, no matter which way, it looks pretty good so far. Now, we have earnings coming up. We know earnings are probably not going to be that great, or at least the guidance for next quarter is probably not going to be too great. But that's, I would imagine, already priced into the stock. I don't think anyone's going to be super shocked when Adam Aron says, yeah, Q1, Q2 could be, rough quarters. That's not going to, take me by surprise, but maybe the markets would be surprised. I don't know. This article sounds a little clickbaity towards AMC stock. Instead of saying AMC Networks, they say AMC stock falls 15% on scary 2024 revenue forecast. Lower advertising, affiliate revenue ahead to be partly offset by gains in streaming. They say, as the marketplace sorts itself out, the opportunity to grow top line in the out years continues to be there. I think it's just got to settle. So we're sort of sticking to our knitting, as you said. Tight cost management, but effective utilization of the resources that we have. Now, AMC Networks is not a theater exhibitor per se. They're not like an AMC, but it is in the same sector, right? The entertainment, the theatrical sector, nonetheless. Even if it's just, on TVs, streaming, things of that nature, producing it, they do a little bit of producing as well. So, not exactly great for AMC. This is one of the first-ish earnings we have heard that is directly, kind of correlated to AMC stock. Now, coming next week, we're going to have a lot of other companies. These will be important for broad markets, right? Lots of notable names here. On Friday, we will get Cinemark. So that could also be obviously one that can move AMC. But other than that, you really don't have any theater kind of oriented companies that will be reporting earnings. AMC will not be this week, but it will be the following week. So looking forward to that, but nonetheless, this does kind of read strangely. Now, I think this is actually good news as well, because it does help lower expectations by AMC Networks having, a bad forecast, and the stock dropped 15%. So this really did lower some expectations for AMC, in my personal opinion. And that's just going to make the bad news go down a little bit better with AMC when AMC reports earnings. Now, we'll talk about AMC earnings a little bit more in the next video specifically, but AMC is going to have some pretty rough things to say, I would imagine. Now, whether or not we get, a confirmation, a commitment to not diluting shareholders or not, that's probably what's going to move AMC stock. I don't think, poor guidance or whatnot is going to be a big deal, because after all, we already know that, right? Again, markets, if they're blindsided by something, that's where you get big downside reactions. That's where, stocks fall 25, 35% is when, you're kind of blindsided more or less. I don't think that's going to happen, but again, it could be offset by positive things that Adam Aron can say. So I'll be on the lookout for that. But short interest percentage of free float for AMC stock at 12.05%, $123.5 million worth of short positions. Days to cover 1.64, 30.2 million shares that are currently sold short. Shares out on loan 34.28 million. Cost to borrow 1.08%, utilization of 50.84%, and a short score of 64.03 out of 100. You do have cost to borrow max sitting here at about 3% as well. So, not the most impressive numbers here, but you are definitely starting to get up there again on the short interest number. Now, I think short interest number is probably going to grow to about 20%. I believe AMC stock is, 200+% sold short, but, it's not going to be reflective here based on the actions we've seen the company do, notably the reverse split. A lot of these short positions are being hidden right now, and I do think some of them are starting to show through. Now, I'm still waiting to see when we can get that aggregate data on short positions in AMC in our markets. That was a new rule change that went into effect back in November. I still can't find any data on this that is public. The government works with a very big lag, so when that data does become available, I will definitely bring that to your attention, but it does not seem like that is available as of yet. Now, with that being said, let's take a look at stock twits. How people are feeling about AMC out there. And dun 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 dun. Bearish. People are bearish on AMC today. Yesterday, they were bullish at 73, which makes sense because, a lot of people do just take off for the weekends. They're not even thinking about stocks over this weekend. So sentiment is 39. That is bearish. Message volume is 68, which is actually the same as yesterday. That's pretty good. Participation ratio sitting at 36. So that is on the low side, but pretty close to normal overall. If we take a look at the Stock O Tracker data, we did have about 19,000 calls expire in the money, 58,000 calls expire out the money. In the money puts at about 7,900, out the money puts at about 22,000. So decent amount of option activity last week. We're actually going to get a lot of option activity as well for this week. You do have about 22,000 calls that are currently in the money and about 80,000 calls that are out the money. In the money puts currently at 19,000, out the money puts at about 30,000. So definitely will be some option activity for next week, and that is something I will keep my eyes on because, hey, if we continue to see 7% days like we're seeing right now, and you continue to see a lot of option activity, pretty soon you could be in a full-blown gamma squeeze. And we'll see. I think a lot of that's going to come down to earnings. And if Adam Aron, AMC, if they want to get AMC stock higher right now, they can. All they got to do is say, hey, we're not going to be diluting shareholders for the next 6 months, all of 2024, whatever they want to say. Even if they said 3 months, that would be good to give the stock a chance to kind of breathe and regain its footing even more. But whether or not that's going to happen, I don't know. Let me know if you think that will happen this earnings down below in the comment section. They're going to have to do something to offset a bad guidance or bad news overall. And AMC stock is trading, I want to say a fundamental valuation, but I think it's actually less than its fundamental valuation right now. I think a fair fundamental valuation on AMC could be somewhere around $10 per share, but it's not trading there because, look at the dilution. AMC is the easiest short in the world. AMC, there's no stock that is an easier short than AMC. If you have a company that has to raise capital, that is not afraid to raise capital at, $5, $8 per share, if they have to, then why not short the stock? Why not short the stock? Unless they give you, a commitment to not diluting shareholders, that is a short-term blip, but does that, cause shorts to cover? I think it depends on hedge funds and institutions' time premiums, right? If AMC... And this is what I mean, right? AMC comes out. They say, hey, for 6 months, we're not going to dilute shareholders. Well, if you're short, you got to make the decision. Am I willing to lose money on this short position for 6 months, or do I cover on it now and put my money elsewhere? Take my gain, whatever, and put my money elsewhere. In this market, probably you're going to see more people covering than not, because, I mean, look at NVIDIA. Look at all these other names that have done very well. And that's something we'll talk about in the next video. Also, how NVIDIA earnings could actually spark a broader market rally. And that's going to be a good one, so don't miss it. But as far as your AI investor sentiment survey, you do have 49% of investors that are bullish, 28.4% of investors that are neutral, and 22.6% that are bearish. These numbers pretty much the same as last week, besides the bears falling a little bit from 24.5% to 22.6%, and neutral investors rising from 26.8% or 26.4% to 28.4%. So, yeah, there's a lot of bulls out there in our markets, which, I mean, markets are hitting new all-time highs, but the markets are really weak overall. And we'll look at that here in just a moment. But for last week, you did have volume on Friday of about 81% to the call side, 19% to the put side, so very strong numbers. Friday's option activity from hedge funds and institutions, you've seen 8 orders totaling $212,000 with a positive order value of 65%. And if we take a look at the percentage of stocks above their 50-day moving average, that was up a little bit on Friday to about 54.5%, but still it's a lot lower than where you were towards, the end of December 28th, when 86% of stocks were above their 50-day moving average. So in the grand scope of things, markets pretty weak here, right under the surface, and I do think that will start to broaden out, and that could be good news for AMC stock. On a technical basis, RSI looks pretty good at 45.55 now. These last couple of days of rally have done the RSI very good, and the MACD is also looking pretty good as well. Now, the RSI has a little bit of ways to go still until we get to 50, and that's your technical neutral level. Could you rally to 60 or 70? Historically, you do, right? Or you tend to get pretty close to that. So that could lead you, in my opinion, to about $5.50 per share before we do see a little bit of reset that does take place. And, we do get a little bit of sideways trading action at the very least. So let me know what you think about this information down below in the comment section. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel. You guys have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.